Do you think fat shaming works?
I think so.
Yes, because they start thinking that it is okay.
I'm a fat bitch.
I'm just gonna keep eating. You can't tell me what to do.
Would you want to be fat?
Would I want to have more meat on my bones? Yeah, I'm flat everywhere.
Am I too much? Go find less.
So today I am asking, is it okay to be fat?
Yes, it's okay, it's common, it's regular, normal.
Yes, I mean, look at me. I'm a fat
I don't think it's really okay to be fat because it's a lack of self-love.
I just love myself and people love me because I love myself.
I'd rather have people love themselves, go to the gym, take care of themselves.
A few kilos more or less will not change me.
It has a lot of problems being fat because it is not healthy or good looking.
I think it's okay to be fat, but I wouldn't date a fit person, I think.
Is it okay to be fat?
Wow.
Of course.
You hesitated a little.
Well, because I don't think asking, is it okay to be fat, is a correct question to ask.
Is it even offensive to say fat person or like big bone person?
If they're comfortable in their body, then they're comfortable in their body. Anything that's going to hamper your arteries or anything like that, no, it's not good.
I think it's not okay. It's not healthy at all.
According to my doctor, I'm fat. But if you look at the size of my legs,
You got mailman calves.
yeah, fat is such a generic statement. It's hard to say yes or no.
I grew up in West Virginia, which happens to be the fattest state.
Were you ever fat?
The biggest I've ever been, I got up to 243. I woke up in the mirror, looked at myself at 243.
That's big.
Bubbly,
That's big.
my hips hurt, my knees hurt, my ankles hurt. That moment there, I was like, this is not good. I don't like it. It's not for me. But if it's for you, I think you should get after it.
Whether
This is the problem with society. You think society is pushing people to end their lives quicker with this type of rhetoric. People know, we all know intuitively that it's not good to be fat. And when we say the word fat, we know what we mean when we're talking about the word fat. And it is crazy that we have come to a society where we are saying it is okay to be fat.
be through fat mannequins or plus-size models, the fat acceptance movement has advocated for body positivity for all shapes and sizes.
Women of all shapes and sizes do exist, and it's important that you see yourself represented.
Big girl summer has officially begun.
But with America's high obesity rates, we must question the importance of acceptance versus its consequences. But is it just easy for me to say because I played sports my whole life? And more importantly, isn't acceptance the first step to self-improvement? Guess we gon' see. Can you be healthy and obese?
That's tough,
No.
you know?
You can be healthy and still be bigger.
These big wrestlers in Japan, I forgot their name.
Oh, sumo wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they're strong.
Like I play volleyball, I play soccer, I was a competitive cheerleader. So I think it all encompasses in what you're able to do.
I'm not a doctor. I probably wouldn't want to answer that at all.
Let me ask you this then, like what does it mean to be healthy?
Well, mental health is very important and also physical health, of course.
I don't think anyone's purely healthy. You're able to have healthy tendencies. I have a brother who was a track athlete who was an alcoholic. So I think it just depends on the tendencies you choose to focus on.
So I wanted to know, isn't health more than just the weight on the scale? Health isn't just about physical appearance, right? There's also things like mental, spiritual health. Do you think you can just say that just because you're fat, you're not healthy?
If you're fat, emotional, you won't be good, because you feel bad, your clothes doesn't fit, it is horrible.
Were you ever fat?
It's really not that difficult. When you're fat, there's a lot of things that your weight is prohibiting you from doing. If you're fat, you're going to be getting tired quickly. There's just normal basic things that you cannot do because of your weight. You look in the mirror and this is why we need to bring shame back. Shame is a good thing. If you shame people certain ways, obviously in a more positive way as well, it gets people to push towards a more healthy lifestyle, telling people to be okay in their mediocrity. And sorry, being fat is even below mediocre. It's worse than that. We're selling people now to be okay being below average. And what do you think corporations care? They're getting their money. They're selling everyone to be less than good is what they're selling everyone.
Like in any time of your life?
Like 6 months ago, I was fat.
What does that mean?
I got cancer and I was on medicine, hormone therapy. Even cancer is a problem because of weight,
Now let's dig further and see what the other side would say. America has a really big push for body positivity and fat acceptance. It's okay to be fat. It's healthy to be fat.
I don't support that.
Why?
I think it's okay to accept your body, but if it's like health concerning, going on the internet and saying I'm so happy with myself. I'm sorry I don't believe you.
I don't think that you should shame people. I don't think that you should just say, hey, that's okay. It starts out as accept me and then help me, but then it moves into, no, just accept me. I'm just gonna keep eating. You can't tell me what to do.
They think that, oh yes, it is okay to be fat, let's eat more. I don't think it is a good idea to make that movement.
I agree with that movement and I like it and I think it's okay because not everybody looks the same way. Sometimes you're not fat and some people call you fat. Yeah, it's not okay. I was a ballet dancer and I quit because of that, so imagine.
It's great for people to feel good, but I would rather like promote more healthy stuff than seeing models that are fat. We accept this as the norm. I don't think that's a good thing.
And when media has the power to shape culture, it's worth examining what's being shown.
I think there is a trend now of glamorizing morbid obesity.
So good at.
I can do things while being fat, and if I were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't regret it. I am fat, and there's no shame in it for me.
Now look, influencers have always existed, from Jesus to traditional celebrities, and now micro-influencers. And so with social media, we can now connect with people in any niche that speak to us in our viewpoints, including fat influencers.
You are beautiful just the way you are. No one owes you their body.
And on the surface, it's a message that most of us can get behind, of self-love and acceptance. But on the other hand,
I'm sorry for pausing it for you guys. I'm really sorry for pausing it. But I want you guys to really notice a very common theme here with fat acceptance. And I'm sure some of you guys will notice it, but one thing you should notice is all of them are women, and fat acceptance only seems to be for women. I want you guys to notice that.
and is this a message that's contributing to the obesity epidemic? Have body positivity symbols trap themselves and their audience in their own message? For years, Adele has been known as one of the most successful musicians of her generation. And it so happened that not only was she known for her talents, but also viewed as an icon of body positivity.
I don't want to be some skinny mini with my tits out. I'm just writing love songs.
But on May 2020, after posting an IG pic of her significantly losing weight, some of her fans started accusing her of betraying the body positivity movement, even when it wasn't her intended brand.
So many women were mad when Adele lost all that weight.
I was body positive then and I'm body positive now. But it's not my job to validate how people feel about their bodies.
It's not just Adele. From Jonah Hill to countless others, losing weight was like a stab in the back.
Jonah Hill's weight has been talked about as much as his movies.
It is a big deal. People are obsessed with it.
And so the same people that are advocating for body acceptance of all shapes and sizes are the same ones calling betrayal for losing weight. Do you think a culture of fat openness creates a population of more fat people?
Fat people will always also have these insecurities. That's why they build a community where they push and support each other. As I said, if it's health concerning, I don't think this movement should be like too strong.
So has the movement become too extreme?
I actually feel kind of guilty for being a part of this movement, being a pioneer in this game. Like, I literally was one of the first influencers to work with Fashion Nova before they even had a plus size line. But let's be for real. Health is real. Diabetes, heart disease, all that is real, okay? It's not fat phobic to care about your health. And if somebody's telling you that, it's because they're miserable and they want you to die and stay fat like them.
Because if questioning the issue is seen as an attack, does it suggest that more of the focus is on resistance to change rather than acceptance? But if it is about acceptance, has the message at least been consistent for everyone? Do you think there are different body standards for men and women?
Women have this different connotation than men have. Maybe it's more acceptable for a man to be larger than a woman.
For example, like a girl might say, like, I will never date someone that's shorter. Or let's say if a man says, I'll never date someone over this weight.
My husband's tall and some people have shorter boyfriends. Kind of all depends on what you want in life.
Would it be rude if like men started saying like, I won't date girls over a certain weight?
I think physical attraction is important just as much as an emotional attraction.
Yeah, I don't really see like fat models for guys. We always have the standard of the jacked dude.
Men have
exactly my point. Where are the fat models for men? And you don't see men running around complaining about they need to accept me because I'm fat. Unfortunately, a lot of times, and I believe whatever the powers are in power and high power, they understand how the market works. And it's very funny, as I've said in a few minutes ago, notice that all the body positivity models or social media influencers are all women. There's really something deep in that, and I want people to realize that they're all women. That's something you need to realize, because men don't go around complaining about that. But it's just an interesting thing to acknowledge.
have a lot of pressure now to look good. But when it comes to sexuality, why am I a hoe if I like to and you guys are the kings and I'm the hoe? I think these double standards, oh my God, this pissed me off so much.
Do you think there's different body standards between men and women?
100%. Right now we have a big trend for the dad bods. So my wife says, no, it's great. But then if you look at a woman who might have the mom bod at just given birth, people shame them for the way they look.
That's actually an interesting point. I've actually heard more of like the reverse, in the sense that there's a lot of like, let's say, plus size models that are women, but not really like plus size models that are for men.
I would counter that with how many male models do you see versus how many female models do you see?
So I wanted to ask an actual plus size model, why?
Why do you see a lot of like plus size modeling for girls, but not like plus size modeling for men?
I think, to be honest, some people fetishize fat girls.
You don't think there's any fetish for like fat dudes?
Just met a fat dude yesterday and he was cuter than his friend. But you know, I'm very demanding in the bedroom and I think they need that stamina. Because I don't have a lot of condition, so the guy has to do the work.
And so it made me think, is it better to discourage people from being overweight or to fully accept it despite its potential consequences?
Well, I'm curious. So, you say that it's very important for people to demonstrate, like self-care and not being fat. Do you think then fat shaming is a good way to promote people to be fit?
I feel it's not the best way to go about it. If you use other methods, they can be more mindful about the eating patterns, fitness, and all that stuff.
Every time.
It doesn't necessarily have to be shaming, but definitely not promoting that it's okay to be fat is the way to go. That's not going to help anything. That's just going to make more people be comfortable in the fact that they're overweight. Possibly not necessarily shaming, but definitely not promoting fat positivity is the way to go.
Time you attack someone on their physique, not a good way to go about things.
Well, you're telling me off camera you lost 45 pounds. What made you want to do that in the first place?
People around you are in shape, and you just can't lose sight of that.
So your environment not only influences your actions, but also your trajectory. And when that's the case, we're both influencing and influenced by the people we spend the most time with. And so when your actions can directly impact the people closest to you, it may be a different way to explore whether it's okay to be fat.
Well, let me ask you this. What would you do if your kids are fat?
I think it's like a problem. It's like a disease.
A disease?
You cannot live like that.
Would you want your kids to be fat?
No.
What would you do if they are?
Like exercise is like a big part of my life.
But I thought you can't really like force someone to change though, right?
Well, they are my kids, so I can do whatever the I want.
And so when one person's unhealthy habits can enable another person's, it's easy to see how influence begins. So if culture can shape behavior, what impact can shaming have on the larger population?
What is like Mexican culture like in regards to being fat?
Bullying to the fat people. The parents doesn't like you to be fat. My son, he's a great singer, but sometimes I say, oh, you have to be thinner to be, you're like an image. So,
and at least according to her, there's a bit of shaming in Mexican culture. But at the same time, Mexico is one of the fatter countries in the world.
Well, what is French culture like when it comes to fat people?
So I grew up fat, not really fat.
Chunky?
Yeah. My brothers called me like the Michelin.
The Michelin man.
And that's...
Oh, wow. That is amazing. That's interesting. I know I've done a video. You guys don't go and search for it. I've done a video and I reference Michelin to someone on a video, but we're going to leave that.
Stuck with me like for a long time, and I think that's one of the reasons why I went to exercise a lot.
Well, so let me dig into that. That seems like fat shaming worked.
I think so.
And in countries like Japan, we've seen even more drastic measures of shaming.
Big bellies in Japan are suddenly bad news.
The Metabo law enacted in 2008 requires employers to measure their employees' waist circumference to prevent metabolic syndromes caused by obesity to identify those at risk. And it aims to encourage healthier lifestyles and participation in health management programs. And even as a developed society, Japan is one of the least fat countries. And so I wanted to dive deeper into how different levels of acceptance has impacted different countries around the world.
Where are you from again?
Argentina.
France.
I'm from Iran.
Okay, let me ask you, in Argentina, are there a lot of fat people?
Not much. Our food is not as fast food as in America.
There's not as many obese people in Iran as I see when I go to Vegas. Everything in US, the portion size is just like overloaded. So, but back home, more organic stuff and people eat with family, so it's more enjoyable.
So I think it's a cultural thing. In New York, for example, I was with another plus size girl. We were walking on the street, and every 5 minutes, wherever you go, they were like, "Hola, señoritas," you know? Europe, where I am from, they like slim girls, but I think in most of the US parts, they like them fat and juicy, thick.
Why do you think a lot of people in America are fat, juicy, and thick?
Because honestly, the food is really shitty, and then the good food, healthy food is so fucking expensive, so people eat unhealthy.
As opposed to France, where of course there is like fat people, but way less like in terms of percentage.
Are you trying to say that American food's bad?
American?
It is. And over again, what we see is an obvious link between what you eat and how fat you are. In that if you want to lose weight, you might want to put that cheeseburger down, you fat f***. But what we see is that the food and health system in America goes a lot deeper than that. And as always, the key is to follow the money.
That's what I was saying. The higher ups, of course, they know what they're doing. And they sell it to the social media influencers, and then the social media influencers sell it to the mass. So what do you think it is all about? Of course it's about money. If you're going to be buying their junk food, eat it, the social media stars are going to get their money. You're going to get sick from eating the junk food that the social media stars are promoting you to eat. Then you're going to go to the doctor, which you're going to actually have to pay money for. So it's just a cycle of follow the money is really what it is.
Food environment doesn't match what humans are meant to eat.
A lot of people don't even know what processed foods are. Every system is built on these food lies because it makes them money. It's the profits in the processing. Cheap processed food made of corn, wheat, soy, like chicken nuggets, ready-to-go meals, a huge profit market. You grow meat, fish, eggs, vegetables. There's not a lot of profit margin there. The big processed food companies, they have all the money. Now they can do lobbying, marketing. Most of the industry research out there is funded by these big food companies.
I find something very disturbing about that. And when most of our food system is producing processed foods, we become so accustomed to the effects that we don't even realize it until we go somewhere else.
For the past 10 days, I've been in Italy and I've eaten nothing but meat, cheese, pasta, and pizza. And you know what? I felt fantastic.
I ate like absolute shit and didn't work out, and I never felt healthier.
It turns out the EU has way stricter food regulations than the US. They don't allow as many preservatives, additives, or GMOs. I think we're literally eating poison here.
And with our system incentivizing providers to treat
Absolutely,
illnesses and diseases rather than prevention, it makes you wonder, is the system set up to keep people sick and treat patients as subscription customers to maximize profit?
The whole medical system is not a wellness system, it's a sick care. All of this is based on money.
Because even with the US spending by far the most on healthcare out of any country, then why are we one of the fattest?
Disease is probably the biggest business in America. Obesity, cancer, it's all monetary, you know? You get within this
system of care
and you get stuck there, you know?
So then why are you promoting people be okay being fat? If you know this, and this is the problem I have with society and how evil people are. So you know that they're trying to get you fat to get money, but yet you keep promoting people to become fat when you know it's going to cause health problems.
Oh, you become reliant on that. One pill creates another symptom that you get on another pill for, and another pill, you know? I think the best thing you can do for yourself is take care of yourself.
So do you think that America is promoting this culture of fatness to get more patients in the door?
I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
So when the issue is not just about laziness, but a system that is feeding you unhealthy options, then what is the solution? What do you think is like the right balance between acceptance and improvement?
You have to accept the people who choose the way they want to be. And for the improvement side, you just have to be there to support the people who want to make improvements. You can't just force your beliefs on someone, and you can't force someone to make a change.
Because the first step to improvement is acceptance. And more importantly, deciphering if you're deluding yourself from working towards improvement in the name of acceptance. Because if there's even a tiny whisper inside of you that's telling you should be doing more and that you don't want to be fat, then you're settling.
Maybe look yourself in the mirror a little bit.
Just be honest to yourself.
Just be honest with yourself.
Because the moment you start looking inwards, you can start changing your reality. And what used to be your insecurity can now become one of the best reasons for wanting to improve. It's why the lonely outcast nerd creates a social network. It's why the misunderstood comedian wants to make people laugh. And it's why the person who works out consistently year after year was once the fat kid. And it's when we start embracing brutal honesty within ourselves and life is when we start uplifting others around us to do the same. And that's exactly the mission, to explore the unfamiliar.
And that was a very well put video by the YouTuber Jen, I believe it is. Great video. Great video. If people understand the work he would have had to put to make that video, the editing, the song choices, everything in that video was really good, and he deserved the views it got on that video. And I really enjoyed the video watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But it's just crazy to see what society is doing in today's day and age, and it's all for the money. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, let us get a discussion going down below. I want to see people comment on this video, so let's get a discussion going down below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.